Hi everyone. So I haven't done videos in a while because of Lily passing, so I just didn't feel like making videos, but I'm back to filming. A lot has changed since I did my last video. Um, we've done some new projects here at Sassafras Acres, and I was going to show you what we did. So my husband built a greenhouse for us since we have such a short growing season here. It's really hard to get a lot of produce. So I said, you know what, we really need to have a greenhouse so I can start my plants early instead of in the basement. So here we go. This is the entrance into our little garden area. We have electric fencing up because, as you know, we have deer and all sorts of critters that like to come and eat everything. So this disrupts the electricity so I don't get shocked. Enter the garden. Now it's still work in progress, so please don't be judgmental of my mess. But here we go. So we have a raised bed here that we put in for cold crops. So here we have an onion blend, bulbs I got, some garlic. Then we have some spinach growing in because it's beginning of April, so it's okay to plant some cold crops. I planted the onion and garlic a couple weeks ago, spinach last week. Then today I planted some lettuce, some Swiss chard, and different types of lettuce that I started in the greenhouse. And it was such a beautiful warm day today, and it's not going to be cold for the next week, so it was a safe time to put them in the ground. And here's some broccoli. I started a lot of broccoli, but I only planted these out here just to make sure they do okay. And then I planted some carrots. So those went in the ground. The seeds went in today. And then my husband put up some trellis for me on this side. And I had started these sugar snap peas in the greenhouse about a month or so ago. And it's warm enough for them to be outside because they can tolerate a little bit of frost. So I'm going to have sugar snap peas here. That's all of them. I planted them in the pots. So to bring them out, what I did is cut the bottoms off of the pots so that if the roots need a little bit deeper, to go deeper into the soil, they can. So let's put this little guy up. There we go. Hold on there. So that way they're not limited to just keeping their roots in the pot. They can go down into the ground. But I wanted them high up because this is the wet part of the garden. As you can see, there's some drainage, a drainage tile there, so it can drain. So, and then over here is going to be some cucumbers, types that need vine up, that need a trellis. And then over there will be green beans that also, they need a trellis as well. On that end, I'm going to have melons. We're going to have a lot of tomatoes, but I'll take you through the greenhouse so you can see what it's like. So we just bought this greenhouse from Harbor Freight, I think. Yeah, I couldn't remember. So it was not too bad. The directions were really hard to follow, but my husband built it. He was able to figure it out. He had to make some minor modifications. But anyway, you can see it's pretty good size. It's like, oh man, what size is this greenhouse? I can't remember now. Probably about a 10 by 12 or something like that. But anyway, right here we have my bell peppers and a little bit of tomatoes back there. Some herbs, rosemary, and these are melon. I'm going to plant all these melon on the back side of the garden. Here we have some squash, and they're doing really good. Anytime I started plants in the house in years past, they got real leggy and they didn't do well. But out here in the greenhouse, they get natural light, and that makes a huge difference with plants. It's like they're meant to be in the sun or something. So here's a bunch of Roma tomatoes because we want to can tomatoes for sauce. And these are San Marzano tomatoes. They are still moist. Right here we have some beefsteak, some more Roma, and these are some cherry. I don't usually plant that many cherry tomatoes So we don't eat a ton of them. Then over here, we have my squash and zucchini. And I started them in smaller containers. I transplanted them to the big ones. But actually, most of the ones that are over here, I started them in big pots instead of the small ones because I didn't want to transplant them into larger ones later. It's easier if I had all of these bigger ones. So I just started them in the bigger pots. Over here, we've got some smaller flats there so that's tomatillo over there, eggplant, some herbs, and I will have to transplant them as they grow. But that's okay, it's not too many. I've already done some of them. These are my cucumbers and okra, some onions, bunching onions, some chili peppers, some cumin, and then here's my cabbage. The lettuce was in here, but I took it out, as you saw it out there already. Some spinach. I potted some spinach just so I can take this up by the house. And some cilantro because I love cilantro and it seems like it doesn't last that long, so I'll just keep planting it. Up here I have a bunch of sunflowers. I read sunflowers are good for something and I don't remember. So I planted a bunch of them and I'll look it up again and be like, oh yeah, that's why I planted all these sunflowers. But I love sunflower seeds. And the ones you buy at the store are so salty. So I thought, well, if I have sunflowers, I can roast them myself and salt them how I want them. Now, if you look up, in the years past, I've always planted strawberries, and they've never done good because the birds eat them all. So my husband installed some gutters, plastic gutters, and I saw these all over the internet, Pinterest. So I thought, well, let me try it. So he put these up, put them at a slight angle down or slanted down so that the water can drain, and then he drilled some holes there. You can see the holes there, and there. And I will show you how good they're doing. I was actually surprised they're doing so good. Just got them from the Home Depot, I think, and put the starts in. It's like, wow, they are doing so good up here in the hot portion of the greenhouse. And it just makes sure they get plenty of water and they get plenty of light. So they didn't have any leaves on them when I planted them a few weeks ago. They were just the little brown, the starts, just like, oh sorry, it's like this. There was no green on any of them. And they're doing really good. So I'm hoping that there's going to be a ton of strawberries because we love strawberries and I never can get any of them. Anytime I plant them, the birds eat them all. Even if I put them inside the electric fencing so the rabbits and chipmunks, they don't get them. The deer don't get them, but the birds are not inhibited by electric fences. So anyway, we have a lot of projects going on that I haven't shared with you because just didn't feel like doing videos. Thank you for watching and let me know what you think in the comments. Any improvements I can make or any suggestions, I am open to any suggestions. I am still learning how to be a gardener, but I do really enjoy it. Have a great night.